What's up, sassy gamers? That's right. It is season 2, episode 25 of Got Our Attention. And tonight, unfortunately, Bruno and Mike are on assignment. So it's just me and the day drinker holding down the house. And Kelly,
Yeah.
you know what that means, right?
What does that mean?
That means no more timer for the short news.
I hate that stupid timer. Mike, I hate the timer. We hate the timer. Nobody likes a timer but you.
We'll still keep it, probably. Just not today.
Of course.
But you know what else this button can do?
What else? There's another surprise?
Oh, yeah.
Ian, that is one hell of a button. Dude, I was just wearing my t-shirt and now I'm wearing my pajamas and so are you. I can't hear you though. I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
Pajamas all the time. I'm telling you, I got to be careful with that button. If I hit it one more time, we might have some serious problems with our Twitch terms of service.
Like, no clothes.
I didn't say it.
Oh, shoot. That was awesome. I love it.
Yeah, no, we got to use this button more often. Yeah.
I think so too.
This is much, much improved, I think.
I like it.
But you know what else I like? Kelly's Corner.
Oh, thanks. All right. So I have an article that my husband sent to me or pulled me into the kitchen to tell me about last week. And I really wanted to tell you guys that I had this amazing article that I think is just hysterical. And then I was like, oh, that's mean. Like that anticipation. I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. And then I was like, the guys are they're gonna think it's hysterical. And then today we got the news that both Mike and Bruno were gonna be on assignment. And I was like, oh, so they'll just have to. I was not gonna let the viewers down though. I wanted viewers or listeners down. I wanted everybody to hear this amazing story of a grandmother in Ontario. Her name was Anya Tanner. She got on Walmart's website. The marketplace is, combined with regular stuff in Walmart, and bought this cactus. It's supposed to be like a learning toy, and it sings songs in 3 different languages: Spanish,
cool,
English, and Polish.
It's an interesting combination, but I can see it. I mean, Spain isn't that far from Poland.
No, it isn't, and neither is most of the countries in South America that speak Spanish. But I guess that is a little further away. But
from Poland, yes,
geographically, yeah, from Poland, yeah. I was
maybe
thinking
maybe from an English-speaking country like Belize, but not.
Yeah, yeah. So the toy was singing a song in Polish, and Anya, who happens to speak Polish, heard the toy singing a song about taking cocaine and being all alone. I was like, this is amazing.
That's just like, no, seriously, that's like the old Slowpoke Rodriguez when he was singing La Cucaracha when he came to see his cousin Speedy. And literally in some of the cartoons, he does, because La Cucaracha is one of those songs where everybody's made up verses for it, right?
Yes,
and they've all kind of entered into like the canon of that song. It's not like it's a song on the radio and the verses are always the same. And one of the verses he talks about, the cockroach is so sad because he ran out of marijuana.
I mean,
it's Slowpoke Rodriguez. But you know he partakes.
100. Yeah. So Walmart, I guess, did get complaints, but they've been getting complaints for 5 months. So this Polish grandmother, reports it, gets on the news about it, and is like, this is not the toy that I bought for my granddaughter. Her granddaughter, by the way, is like 18 months old. Like, she doesn't need to be hearing that.
Well, she doesn't need to learn how to say cocaine in Polish, which I'm sure, as a grandmother, she's probably going to teach her some Polish.
Yeah, for sure.
My granddaughter can say, "Hello, where's the bathroom? And do you have any cocaine?"
Yes, I have 5 grams of cocaine.
Better.
Yeah, it's sold for about
tucked in my diaper.
Yeah, exactly. So the toy was pulled from the Walmart marketplace, but apparently in like the UK, you could have gotten it on Amazon. So no word yet about whether that's been pulled from Amazon there. But in addition to it's a rap, by the way. It's not just a song; it's a rap. In addition to
this actually makes more sense then.
Yeah. In addition to the cocaine being included in the rap, they also talk about suicide and depression. So that's even more sad.
Those things do tend to follow cocaine.
Yeah. She says, it's about taking 5 grams of cocaine and being alone. It's a very depressing song. More to this, though, the Chinese manufacturer had no idea that the song was being played. It was ripped off by a Polish rapper named Cypis, Cypis. Forgive me if that's mispronounced. And Cypis also had no idea that his song was being used for a child's toy.
As a guess, and this may be totally off base, but it might be Civis.
Okay.
Or
so the
Civis. Civis?
Okay.
I was thinking the Y might be a V sound for some reason.
Oh, Cypis.
I could be totally wrong.
Yeah. I mean, somebody who speaks Polish, help us out here.
Put it in the comments.
So he had no idea that his song is being used for a child's toy, obviously. And he's now taking legal action against the manufacturer for copyright infringement. Obviously. You've been making money off of my song?
As he's sporting a brand new grill that's only 3 months old that he just recently purchased with a windfall of money that he got because obviously he didn't know they were using his song.
Obviously. Yeah. So, I mean, that's one way to get international notoriety. I'm sure plenty of people are listening to that song now too. So
yeah, right. I mean, sure. Yeah. That is pretty crazy.
I will we'll post a link to it in on Twitter too. So
yes,
you can see the
but we are not posting the Amazon link.
No.
Mostly because we just don't have a sponsorship with them yet. So
yeah.
affiliate link. That's the word I was looking for.
There you go.
We'll post the affiliate link to the toy. That's fine though. Okay, so that's it for Kelly's Corner. So let's move on to the news. I swear that song keeps getting longer.
It does. And then when we get to the short news, I'm like, like right? So fast.
Whoa, I'm not drinking for that one.
Okay.
Anyway. So we did the podcast on Tuesday last week because last Thursday was a holiday in the States, Thanksgiving. And during the break, because we talked about the Game Awards. And I've been a fan of the Game Awards for a while. And they're coming up on the 9th of this month. So about a week from now. And during the break, we're like, oh, let's check out the voting because like 10% of it goes to voting. And we're like, oh, this is weird. We're on Game of the Year and we can't vote. It says voting is closed and it says winner underneath Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart for the PlayStation 5. Which was very odd to say the least.
Since
and then
voting
go ahead.
Oh yeah, since voting isn't closed until I think
the 8th.
Sunday? The 8th. Okay,
8th,
next week. So
exactly. And for whatever reason, we tweeted out about it. Actually, Zycia,
right
I
after the
believe.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zycia tweeted out
about it.
but for some
And
reason
we retweeted it, his tweet.
we didn't think about the fact that this was breaking news and talk
Well,
about it on the podcast.
So I think
we talked during the break though.
We did. I think we talked about it during we did. You're right. And we talked about it. And actually, somebody from the awards, I think, because Zycia, directed it to the Game Awards, and somebody was like, "No, voting ends." There was a reply. Gosh, I should.
Yeah. They probably didn't like look at what was going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if Zycia snapped a picture or not. There was another gentleman that sent out a tweet, a Mr. Ricky Ramirez, which is at lipstick with a K, 2 void. So lipstick 2 void. And
Nice.
that tweeter got a good picture of it with the winner. And by the time our podcast had ended or shortly thereafter, the voting was fixed. Like we could vote again. It was very, very bizarre. Yeah. I don't know why we talked about it for the break and we didn't like say, "Oh my God, breaking news." Like we'll have to remember that next time when we come back from the break, like, "Hey, this is just happening right now, people." Because that's what, and it wasn't for very long.
No. So I think part of it was like, was this a mistake? Did we misread something? Is voting over for this?
At first, I didn't believe that you and Zycia because I had looked right before the podcast had started. And before the podcast started, and the voting was fine. It was perfect. And it was during our podcast, this messed up. And by the end of our podcast, they had fixed it. Now, a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, they spoiled the winner." And I don't think that's what the case is because the 10% is the internet voting.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that's showing up on their website right now as counters is the internet voting. And I think the internet is choosing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That does not necessarily mean the, basically the jurors that vote on these, they may have voted for something else. Then again, Rift Apart got a ton of press and was pretty fantastic and actually did some really cool new stuff that other games really didn't do because of the hardware that was in the PS5 and the speed of that drive.
Yes.
So it may still be the winner, but I don't think that they plugged into their website the votes of their jury yet. If the jury's even voted yet, because they just finished nominees relatively recently. So they probably actually haven't even done the true voting yet. So we'll find out on the 9th, I guess.
Yeah, and if you want to see some gameplay of Ratchet and Clank, Demiran did Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart as Game of the Moment right after it had come out. Yeah. So go check that out. That's on YouTube on our YouTube page.
YouTube/SAS Gaming. Yeah. That's great. I'll have to check for the captions right in the middle of the podcast now to make sure that that's correct.
Yeah, you're good.
Because SAS never comes across correctly in the text transcribed. Let me tell you.
No. Yeah, that's a thing. We should actually document all of the.
No. Some of them I should not document because they just go in places that I do not want to even discuss.
Yeah.
Save us.
I know. Sorry. So I ran across an article about new legislation that is being reintroduced about outlawing the use of automated bots. And this one caught my eye because I was really trying to get my hands on an Xbox Series S. And every time I would go someplace, couldn't. And even Brian was helping me. And it was actually the work of Brian that got me the Series S to begin with. So he had sent, this is while we were working together, he had sent an email or an IM or something, and I wasn't there to get it. And he was like, "I'm not going to wait again." And he called me or texted, and you like, you need to get on right now. There's one at this website. I just sent you the link, and I literally was like, I think I may have been like on a conference call. I was like, and I wasn't running the conference call, so it was okay. But I was
It
just
was
like a bystander.
fine.
I already said my part. I was fine. So I was like, I got it. So, but I think a lot of us had the same issue with where bots were buying up all of our, the PS5s and
Mhm.
Xbox Series S and X. Um, so this legislation, Chuck Schumer is actually one of the folks backing this in reintroducing it. It's called the Stopping Grinch Bots Act. It's a really crappy name, though, is one of the articles I read mentioned, because it kind of sounds like it's like just a Christmas thing, but it's a year-round issue. And one of the other issues that we're experiencing right now is supply chain issues. So the issue of bots buying up everything is even worse
Video
right now. We
cards.
can't even, yeah, video cards. There was a game or toy that my daughters wanted for Christmas, and I again had like my team, aunts, uncles, friends, you guys, like everybody, family was trying to find this toy for them. I was like, apparently it's like the number one toy and everybody wants it. Anyway, so
It's worse
we're
than
able
Tickle
to,
Me Elmo.
it was, yeah, basically, because supply chain issues are a problem. On top of it already being in demand toy. Um, so this is actually being reintroduced because it failed the first time. It got lost in uh
Yeah, it was introduced originally in November
yeah.
2018
Sorry, yep.
to stop the scalper run bots. Because
Mhm.
I remember this, and I think we even had talked about this at one time because they were also talking about scalping like concert tickets.
Yes. So that
Um,
actually is law. That there is a
that one
law.
did make it.
That
That's
one,
right.
yeah, that one did make it. This was specifically for the in-demand Christmas toys, but didn't make it. I think it got lost in session or something.
Huh.
Um, and so they're reintroducing it now. One of the reasons they are reintroducing it now is because of the supply chain issues, being caused across the globe. Um, we mentioned that the news game consoles and PC graphic cards are two of the biggest issues that people are
Even
encountering because of
CPUs
this.
was a problem for a while.
Yeah, yeah,
They were
yeah,
getting bought out like crazy.
yeah.
It was so bad that I just like
Mhm.
we were out shopping. We were by the particular grocery store that my wife likes to frequent. As a specialist grocery store.
Yeah,
And next to it was a micro center. And we went into the micro center, and there literally was a gentleman near the entrance constantly saying the refrain of, "We have no video cards. There are no video
yeah,
cards to buy. There's nothing in stock. There's nothing in the back. We have no video cards. There are no video cards." Just over
yes.
and over again because people like were swarming these stores to try to get anything that they could get. And
Mhm.
it's still difficult to get some of them. I lucked out and was able to get the video card that I just got simply by going to a online retailer, Newegg, and
Yeah,
just purchasing it. We're available for sponsorship, Newegg. No,
yeah. It was some of the lobbyists that are backing it include Consumer Reports, consumer advocates like those types of organizations. But they're saying that like places like the big box stores, Target, Walmart, they're not going to really back it. All they care about is getting their their
their money.
merchandise out of their stores and offline, and that so
Well,
they don't care what happens to it after that. So there's probably gonna be some pushback, on that side of the coin.
the other side of it is even if a Walmart or Best Buy or an Amazon say, yeah, we pretty sure it's a bot because all of our inventory got bought out in 1 second,
Right.
and a lot of it from the same IPs, right? Or they circumvented our store page and was able to directly
Mhm.
get to the API, things that we've reported on in the past. But even if they report that, how do you enforce it?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Like, there's ways to track the IP down to where you are, kind of, a
kind
little
of.
bit, but seriously, how do you enforce this?
Yeah, the legislation that was passed that out the bots for live events like concerts and sporting events made it illegal for scalpers to resell the tickets obtained through the bot, according to this article as well. That we will also repost PC Mag article. So I don't know. I mean, there is. I mean, if the chains actually cared, they could prevent this more, right? So if
Mhm.
I log in to buy something on, Target's website, I don't have to say, "I'm not a bot, and here's all the crosswalks," or "Here's everything with a mountain," That's one way of at least preventing it. They don't even go that far, So if you
Well,
know
and
like
Microsoft did, because
okay.
I've gotten, and I'm not sure why I got more than one, but I've gotten 2 emails from Microsoft saying, "Hey, we recognize you as a longtime valued customer." Actually, I looked it up the other day. I've had Xbox Live. My Xbox Live start date is a month before Xbox Live went live.
Which explain to me how that happened now,
Oh, I
because
was in the beta.
oh, cool,
Yeah, I
okay.
was in the beta for Xbox Live. So I've had Xbox Live longer than it has
Yeah.
been, officially launched. So yeah, they
That
said,
was a discussion we had on Discord. Sorry, guys, and I,
yeah,
I read stuff and then don't have time to reply, and so I
or
meant to
ask
ask you about
questions,
that.
and
So yeah,
yeah, so now you know,
yeah,
and knowing is
yeah.
half the battle. No, but the, they sent me this email and said, "Hey, you're this
Mm.
longtime valued customer. Would you like to have? Would you like not have? Would you like to purchase an Xbox Series X? We have a one-time URL that you can use to purchase."
Wow,
And so, and that's an interesting way they got around it. Now,
that's a great,
now
yeah.
PlayStation did a similar thing at the launch of the PlayStation 5, and you could kind of argue that they didn't do enough of this, actually, that they
Mm.
probably should expanded the scope and scale of what they did. But PlayStation also, Sony sent out emails to people that had PlayStation 4s and were on the PlayStation Network and stuff like that, and said, "Hey, uh, do you want to purchase a PlayStation 5? Do you want to be put into a pool of others? And then we're going to select so many out of the pool and then offer you it." So they did that as well. This one
That's
didn't sound like
cool.
a pool thing. This sounded like if I wanted a darn Xbox X,
All
I
I
could
had to
get
do is
it.
click this link and fill out my credit card information. That's really cool.
Yeah. And no, I did not purchase one, and no, I'm not scalping it.
Mhm.
Uh, I might sell it at cost to one of my friends, but
Yeah,
that's about it. I would not scalp something like that just because I'm so against that.
yeah,
Like I'm all for that. If you have something that is worth value and selling it for a value, yes, that makes sense. Things
mhm.
like, rare games, like, if somebody was like, "Oh my God, I really must have like the DVD of Star Wars Old Republic, and can you sell it to me for, $80?" Well, yeah, that's not scalping.
Mhm.
That's not like I'm buying up first run of stuff. This is, oh, it's now more of like, and that's not exactly a collector's item, but you get what
Yeah.
I mean. If you have a collector's item, that's different, because that's
Right,
the
right.
concept is there is that it has gone by age, and a whole bunch were
Yeah.
produced and people bought a whole bunch and they opened and used and they're lower quality, and you have a pristine condition or close to that, is now worth more because it's unopened or unused, or it's a car with 96 miles on it and it was made in 1980 or something. That's different. And I'm all for people making some money that way. If they no longer want it, like whatever reason they
Yeah,
kept that vehicle for that
yeah.
long and the fire's no longer there, and they're like, "Gotta get me a new truck." And but no, seriously, like scalping and that are two different things.
Yes, I completely
Also,
agree.
anyone need an SSD? I have an unopened one just in arm's reach. And it's old.
He'll
It's an
sell
old
it to you.
850.
Oh, sell
Well,
it to you
that
for
that thing
cheap
ain't
then.
worth a month. That thing's worth like $20.
He might give it to you.
Yeah, right? I didn't need it.
Yeah. I've got some of that stuff too.
So, I mean, these bots seem to be hitting
Yeah.
everything too. Like, you had the problem where you really, really wanted
an Xbox mini fridge. Desperately, Scott. I set an alarm. I was ready. I was on the Target website. Within just a couple of minutes, and they were gone.
Yeah. And then they showed up at a Target, like live at one point. Somebody got pictures and then they were gone.
Gone.
I tell you
Not
though,
again.
you don't want one. Do not get one. This is a public service announcement to everyone. Do not go out and get this fridge because it is not, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get.
No.
Now, if I get a mini fridge, I think I'm going to get a mini fridge, and that is going to be a small refrigerator, which uses something like Freon and a compression and expansion cycle to cool things down, which that is a very powerful way to cool things down, so much so that you can make ice.
Yeah.
What's not as powerful of a way to cool things down, at least for the sizes that we're talking about, is a Peltier Cooler, which uses electricity. And granted, yes, the Freon stuff uses electricity, but it's actually a solid state device that when you run electricity to it, one side gets cold and the other side gets hot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put a heat sink on the hot side to get the heat out of the way. So, and then you run the cold side to cool down and you don't have to crawl around. So yeah, it's really distracting me. You don't, there's no, she's getting a cord for her laptop. That's all it is. So anyway, you don't have a refrigerant system in this. You have a solid state cooler. And yeah, those can actually cool down pretty cold, but in reality, for something this large and for the size of the solid state coolers that are in this, you're not going to cool this thing down very much. The other negative side is that the fan is going all the time. It does not shut off. And that's not people saying that it doesn't shut off. That is the manufacturer, when asked about it, said, no, the fan never shuts off. And this thing is not quiet. It is 50 decibels. It is louder than your Xbox is with a disc in it spinning, which
it's loud.
I mean, you have a Series S. How loud is that Series S?
It's silent.
Dead silent.
So quiet. Yeah.
And my
sometimes
Series
I'm
X,
like, is it working?
Right. My Series X is super quiet until I put a DVD into it for like a game or something, like for backwards compatibility. And then it's just like, it's just loud. And this thing's louder than that. Don't get this fridge, Kelly. Like,
well, yeah. So
it's, I get the, yeah, don't get it.
Gabe Gerwin wrote an article for GameSpot.com, and he also tweeted out how his fridge. He said he's
video
funny.
Of his fridge.
Yeah, I'm sorry, video of the fridge and how loud it is. So we can retweet this one too. He says, I plugged it in, which was itself a challenge, as if the plug did not want me to experience what was coming next. So,
whoa,
it's pretty loud.
Whoa.
So I guess maybe I dodged a bullet there. I would have been because it doesn't use Freon, it doesn't get as cold as a regular fridge, and I like my Red Bulls real cold. So I like my Red Bulls like I like my heart, ice cold. Bless my heart. Okay.
I was just
yeah.
I was like
so okay. All right. The next one we have for you in the news is that GTA 6 probably not going to get released until rumored not to be released until 2025. I will be the ripe
Which,
old
okay.
age of 29 then.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's what I keep telling my kids. And this is a rumor, but they've gotten it from a pretty reliable source. It will be the longest gap between a game series in history by a lot.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 8 years since the last Grand Theft Auto. They say that them releasing it on PS5, Xbox Series XS is them trying to get more money out of the older versions, trying to get more money out of them just to kind of like prolong it, keep them going
Well,
until
GTA Online.
yeah.
I mean, well, and that's so we do have an article here from GameSpot.
Mhm.
And I think one of the other things that they talk about
Just
is
happens to be another GameSpot article. We don't get all of our news from GameSpot.
that they
Sorry.
were talking about that the rumor also is that the GTA 6 map will change over time, kind of similar how the Fortnite map changes over
Yeah, the
time.
seasonal changes.
Yeah. And so I think it's going to be like, in many ways, it might be the next iteration of GTA Online. I don't think 8 years is all that bad between, yes, it's the
Yeah.
longest in a
Mhm.
series, but I mean, 2025 isn't that far away. Games do take a while to make. So I can think of another game that just released recently that was
That sucked.
announced 8 years prior to its release.
That's
Cyberpunk 2077. I'm looking at you.
Ah.
And, so sometimes you can take a whole 8 years and still serve up a steaming turd to someone.
Yeah.
Well, I think
so. And kind of to that point though, they said that part of the reason why they're taking their time in drawing out the release is because they're trying to put more emphasis on employee well-being. So it's due to other backlash and other reports, but I do think I mean the happier your people, you know the better the working conditions, likely the better the game. So
yeah. Well, and
take your
it's
time. Take
interesting
your
the
time.
timing
We'll
on
wait.
this leak as well. The details that are in this leak and the timing on this leak, I'm guessing, strongly guessing, that we're going to see something about this on the Game Awards. Because there's
Okay.
always big announcements on the Game Awards.
That totally makes sense.
Like, I'm telling you, Hades kind of premiered on the the Game Awards, which at the same time was the premiere of the Epic Game Store. The very first Game Awards was, I think, Zelda: A Link in Time was announced on it. So there's always big, like, world exclusive announcements that are on the Game Awards. And because of the amount of details in this, I would not be shocked if we see something in there. Again, makes sense. Big, huge announcement was done 8 years ago for it with the trailer and everything for Cyberpunk 2077. So timing seems about right. 2025. I mean, we're talking. I mean, you could be talking as much as 4 years, but you could be talking as little as like 3 years and a couple of months, depending on when in 2025 we're talking about. It's not that long. Well, I ran across this fun little article and video. I actually got the video on IGN, on the IGN Fix, which is a fun little daily show. These researchers got a rat to play Doom.
Love this one.
And it's so amazing. Okay, so let me back that up, because that's the gotcha clickbait title that we're talking about here. The article title. The rat doesn't actually play Doom. He doesn't, or she, I don't know. They did not talk about the gender of the rat. They did not shoot anyone in Doom. It was mostly about navigation through the hallways and stuff like that, and and if they navigated well, they got a treat of sugar water. It's the navigation, which was fascinating. They have the rat sitting there, and it's got this like little arm that holds the rat, right?
So it doesn't fall off.
So yeah, so
It's
it doesn't.
it's in
So
like
it
a
doesn't fall. It's
harness.
like a harness, and it's kind of and the rat isn't suspended just in the air. What it is the rat's feet are resting on this probably foot diameter styrofoam globe. And
Yeah.
depending on which way he turns and runs on it, he spins. It's almost like, the old ball mice or trackball.
You
It's
know,
very
you say old ball mice, but we worked with somebody who used one, and every time he was right-handed. Yeah, not like weirdos like Mike and
Mike.
my other friend. Um,
You're the friend.
oh my god, but there still exists, and he was like, I'm used to it. This is what I do. That was, and shout out to him. I know he's not watching or listening, but maybe he will now.
Yeah, you gotta tell him to listen. No, like it's like a trackball where you're moving it certain ways to move your character at the same time. I would be fascinated if they get to the point where like it can like hit something to fire weapons, which like
Yes.
but it's the cutest video.
It gets rewarded with a little sugar water when it when it completes like the maze or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I want to make
just
sure I remember that correctly.
yeah, it's fascinating just to watch this. Like, cause it isn't madly running around either, because it's literally reacting to what's on the screen. And he'll sit there and he'll like turn and he'll like turn again. And they'll turn, and then all of a sudden it goes, and it like shoots down the hallway, and then it stops. And like, it's fascinating. Like,
cute.
It's cute. I envision a future in, some battlefield somewhere in say 2042. That's a game joke. Where we have robots that are controlled by little rats inside of them on balls that are like shooting people. Go check it out. It's I think it's December 2nd. No, that's the current. No. It was November 24th. November 24th, IGN Daily Fix. Go check it out. If I remember, I'll try to like put a link up or something. But yeah.
All right.
Anyway, that's it for the news. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We might check out the treasure truck. We might refresh our beverages. And we certainly, if there's anyone in chat, we'll talk to anyone that's in chat. Because we do have someone.
Thanks. We have two, apparently. One of them is not very busy with their assignment.
Well, hey.
But yeah, no, his assignment is to watch us tonight, and I'm glad he is. So, it's just for those who are listening. If you do watch us on the podcast live, we do like to interact with our the folks in chat. So yeah. So join us.
For those of us not watching us live, we'll see you after this break. And we're back. Faster than normal.
Yes.
Or if you looked at it different ways, slower than normal. All depends. If you're a Patreon, you would have no ad break and it'd be faster than normal.
Yes.
If, however, you listen to us on Spotify and or watching us on YouTube, well, YouTube is kind of similar to Patreon where it's going to be fast. But if you're listening to Spotify and you got an ad, you can subscribe to our Patreon. And for a low price of, I don't know, what's it, $5 a month?
$3 or $5, yes.
$5 a month. You can get an ad free, and eventually we'll do some type of cameo thing where you can make Kelly say just about anything you want as long as she approves it.
I mean, I'll say just about anything.
This is true. Like there's probably not a lot that she would.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, with that, too. I can say it in my auntie
No,
voice
no,
that,
no, no.
that Mike
No,
loves.
no.
Brian loves my auntie voice.
Okay, I legit the wife was listening to
Viewers are
one of
gone.
our November podcasts, I believe it was. Or maybe it was back in October. Yeah, I think it was an October podcast. And I got to find it because you did this voice that was fantastic that I told you need to
Okay.
cultivate. And I need to play that for you again so that you work on that
Yes.
voice.
Okay, definitely. I'll use that moving forward because I don't wanna
Because
lose
that voice
anybody else.
was really cool. But speaking of other really cool things, we had Game of the Moment this week, and we had some pretty much shorter than what we normally talk about games that didn't really need as much description. And so because of that, this week for Game of the Moment, we had not one, but two games of the moment, starting with yours, Kelly.
You. So I played Cats in Time. It's a game that I talked about on I think the last podcast as well. I like puzzly games and something that will just kind of steal my attention. I made fun of Mike. Uh, please don't do that again. My auntie voice.
Yes.
So I've been playing this game, and Mike was like, "What is this game? I want to see because I keep seeing you play this game." You are with this mad scientist who has created this time machine, and you're trying to help him get the time machine to work. But before you can get it fixed, all of his cats, and he's got a lot of cats apparently, jump in the time machine and they are whisked away to different places in the future, in the past, ancient Greece, the pyramids, Japan in the future. So cute, super cute graphics, imagery. But you have to find all 10 cats in the puzzle. Sorry, in each level. And some of the cats are obvious. They're just like hanging out, they're sitting on a bench or something. Other cats are hidden behind a puzzle. And some of the puzzles are super easy. But it's like still as easy as the puzzle is, it's still gratifying to like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, like, okay, so one of the puzzles you ran into was you looked at the side of the bus and there was this A and it had a picture of a bus and it was red. And we didn't think nothing of it because it was on the side of the bus. It was just there as a label. And then in a completely different area, granted, it was kind of like below it on the building, but that's kind of giving a disservice unless you see it visually. It's basically a completely different area. Is this what looks like a vending machine with a bunch of buttons on it? And it's got ABC across the top. It's got 3 different bus symbols and it's got 3 different colors. And you had to match, the letter, the bus symbol, and the color. And then you got a key card, which you then had to take back to where you saw the symbol and plug the key card in there. And then different ones did different things. And there were 3 of these, A, B, and C. And A and B were on the bus. C was in a different location. And it was just really interesting that they used the environment as part of the puzzle of like, you might see something over there, but the only way you're going to solve it is to go way over there. And I think another great example was there was this picture of the drill.
Yeah.
And we're like, where's the drill?
Yeah.
And then a completely different location, completely different puzzle, unrelated. We solve it and bloop, out pops
There's
our
the
drill.
drill.
And we're like, we know what to do with this. We're going to go drill something.
Go there. Yeah. Another, I think it may be an achievement, or it's not necessarily an achievement. It's part of the game. There are broken tiles, 3 broken tiles throughout each level, and you need to find all 3 pieces. And some of them, as Phoenix pointed out, they're it's kind of sparkly. You can oh, that's clear. But others, no sparkles. And there was one in another game, another level I played. I had to actually like push away sand to get to it. Yeah, it was a Wild Wild West ones or something like that.
Egypt.
Yeah, something like so. And I was like,
Archaeological cat.
yeah, it's like one of those things that you like kind of figure out, right? So I knew to push away the sand and they would just like push things away. I had to break something and then push away the sand. I was like, oh, I would have never found that if I didn't know I had to break all these pots. And breaking pots is like another thing. So it's a really cute game. It's $4.99 on Steam. It may actually be. I should check my
Yeah, it's back to
phone and see.
$4.99.
Yeah, because
Because
the
I just
sale is
got it.
over. I was gonna check and see if it's probably a really great game to be in the App Store. Let's see, Cats in Time.
It's
Oh,
also real like
yes, it's on your iPhone with in-app purchases. So I don't know. I'm sure it's on Google Play as well. Sorry.
you mentioned it as a Zen game. It's
Mm.
kind of Zen. At the other side of the spectrum, it's really fun to do and kind of stressful when the three of us are trying to solve stuff at the
Oh
same
yeah.
time.
So like you at one point, both Zaisia and Phoenix were like, "No, there, left, go, no, just turn this one on." And I was like, and I think I even said, I was like, "Guys, it's not usually like I usually figure these out way quicker without you telling me where, you know."
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
but boy, that was fun.
yeah, it was definitely a good time. I just total side note. I just picked up another game today that I want to play. That's another puzzly game that has had really great reviews that just came out. Called Moncage. I may be mispronouncing this. That I want to do as a game of the moment. So we'll wait for that one, but I have a funny feeling when the second I was like, "Oh my god, this one's gonna be good. I want to do a game in the moment," and I was like, "Oh my god," and then I'm gonna have Mike, Brian, and Bruno all like in my ear. Oh, turn it this way. Oh god. So so if you enjoyed the last one, join the next one.
Exactly. Another Zen game that we played that day was XO1, and it's just kind of Zen in a totally different way. The whole concept is you were an astronaut on Earth, and there were instructions on how to build an exoplanetary vehicle beamed to us from an alien civilization. And they built it, and it was basically a sphere. So they sent it up with like a more traditional craft, and they went out to Jupiter with it, and then tried to fly it, and things didn't go wrong so much as just not the way they expected, and stuff kind of disappeared, and they lost signal. And that's some of the background that you don't even know right away, but you kind of get in flashbacks. But you're in this spherical vehicle that you can press forward with one joystick, and it will start spinning forward and rolling forward. And with one trigger, you can all of a sudden increase gravity by 10, and it just will just zip down a hill real fast. And then when you get to the bottom of the hill, you just let the trigger go, and then it goes to gravity that's more like lunar type gravity. So it's not even close to Earth gravity. Even if you're on an Earth like planet, it's much less than normal gravity. So you just fly up this hill, and when you hit the crest of the hill, you just fly off into the air.
Mm.
And then depending on if there's another hill on the other side of it, you might hit gravity again and speed up again and keep speed, and till you literally go faster than the speed of sound. I mean, you'll go and have a little sonic boom, and you can get really high up. You can see the terminus between the atmosphere and space, and then the other trigger flattens you out into more of a saucer, so you can glide a little bit as you're going along, which is really cool because you can combine that with the gravity, and you can dive down and then pull out of the dive, and that gives you a burst of speed to go forward again. And you that's pretty much it. And the other joystick is like where you're looking and kind of the angle that you're going. And you go through these different planets, and they just let you do whatever you want to do. And you got a certain area you're in it, and you can like, oh, I found this weird energy source sphere, and it like increased the energy in my craft, and I can like go higher or faster now.
Yeah.
Or I have this weird ramp with a blue light, and I jump on that, and all of a sudden I get transported to another planet while having more flashbacks. And the different planets will introduce different environments, different obstacles, um, and even a little bit of different physics. I went on to an ocean planet, and I was like, "Where's my hills? I need my hills. I need hills to go
Yeah.
faster."
Yep.
And what I did is I dived into the water, and I used the water like a hill where I went down and then I pulled out of it and I would shoot way up in the air. But it was difficult because it was difficult to see where you were looking. So sometimes you go straight up. Um, and I was like doing this for 20 minutes, bouncing around and
Mm.
going towards like collecting things so that I could like go to the next planet. And then all of a sudden, I remained instead of being a sphere and diving into the water, I stayed as a disc. And I was in a place where they had some ocean waves as well. And I hit the ocean wave with a disc
Oh,
and I
cool.
skipped off of it like a stone.
Oh,
And I
I
was
did see that.
like,
Okay. Well,
this
I
is
thought you were
so
gonna say you were
cool.
like surfing, like, oh,
Well, yeah, and you do get
Mm,
a little bit of that too, but
yeah.
you skip off of it like stone, and you that gives you a little boost, and you can like skip, you can like kind of go down the wave a little bit, and like I was like, I've been playing this for 20 minutes one way, and I all of a sudden realized there's a whole new mechanic I can use to move with.
Yeah.
And it's one of the people that I listen to, another podcast, to give credit where credit is due. I did not come up with this, just had the best way of saying it. They said it's like it's like the movement you have when you're in a swing, where you like, you're getting in a certain position to increase your downward
Oh.
as you go down, and then as you go up the other way, you're changing your position so that you can continue building momentum as you swing. Except for in this, you're not going back and forth, you're just going, constantly building momentum as you're going forward.
That's
um
cool.
and it's very zen like at other times,
It was it
sometimes.
was beautiful
It
too.
was
Like
beautiful.
the color palette that they chose is, like you were saying, very relaxing. And
Hmm.
even there's mountain ranges, and on one planet there was like vegetation, and the rocks were a little sharper, and the other it was like mostly sand, and then in the water it's a little like it is a beautiful game. Absolutely
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes, and once we got it running, it ran pretty good on the stream. We still got to
Yeah.
edit those a little bit, but and at other times though, I'm playing it and I'm just like I'm gripping the control. I realize I'm like really gripping the controller, going, oh, like I just need to get a little faster. And it's not frustrating. It's not that. It's just like you just really get into this groove of like, okay, I want to min max and just really maximize my dives here. And oh man, I missed the crest and I hit the wrong side of the hill and I went backwards because 10 times gravity will reverse your trajectory real damn fast if you hit the wrong side of the hill.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah.
XO1, currently that's as Zycia would put it, included with Game Pass Ultimate in this case, since I'm doing it on the PC. And I think we looked it up at Steam at the time. I think it was $25, right around there.
Oh,
I should have looked it up
um,
before the podcast and I didn't.
it is, um,
See, Daydream got my back.
16.99. Yep.
Oh, that's right, 16.99.
It was like a
So
weird
yeah,
one. I was like,
so $17, and like if you do not get a couple hours entertainment out of this, I am going to be shocked.
yes.
Other than that, I do want to say, well, I actually, before I go on, are there any other games you've been playing there?
So I'm gonna need some help from the audience. Uh, Mike and his wife came over, and I got wasted playing board games with them, which I love. Board games, card games. We played a couple of really, really cute ones. Mike, if you're still sitting there in chat, I'm gonna need you to tell me what some of them were because all of the names ran together. One of them was Coup, and it's a card game, really small deck. and you get 2 cards, and it's basically like playing asshole. Sorry if okay. Basically playing asshole, and uh I'm such a bad liar, so I'm not good at that game. But it was a lot of fun. Killed Dr. Lucky was super fun because it's a board game and card game. You put down you need the it's kind of like Clue. So you need, but in reverse, you need to kill Dr. Lucky, but you can't kill Dr. Lucky if somebody can um see you, right? And there's also this animal component that you can add into the game. You can choose to play with a dog or a cat, and there's the dog and cat can move. You can kill, I'm pretty sure it's right, you can kill Dr. Lucky if the dog can see you, but if the cat can see you, you can't. So there's a lot of strategy involved. You can move um the animals around in anticipate your next move. So it was I that one was a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to playing that one again. Um the other two, yeah, well, we'll save the next other two for when Mike's on the podcast next week, hopefully.
Cool.
And that way we can talk about it in a little more detail. So, but I love board games. I love one of my very favorites is Cards Against Humanity. And I love being able to drink. And thank goodness Mike was there to remind me to move our elf on the shelf. So we had a really good time.
So I've been playing.
What have you been playing?
I
sorry.
have been playing Fortnite still. And the only reason why I bring it up at this point in time is that they are ending chapter 2 on Saturday, the 4th, I believe at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm not 100% positive on that time. But this isn't. So what happened before is we were on chapter 2, season 7, and I broadcast live the change to season 8. Now we're doing a chapter change, which typically the chapter changes have much bigger changes, both in the maps, mechanics, and things that basically the overall code of the game. I believe chapter 2 is what brought in a lot of stuff that allowed them to do things like the concerts and the group activities that they're able to do. So very interested to see what's going to be going on there. I'll be broadcasting that this weekend, Saturday the 4th. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll be doing it on SAS Gaming, the SAS Gamers Twitch, to be clear. But with that said, let's move into the short attention news. So fast you couldn't even get your papers up. Starting to do it. Yeah, right. Starting off with Sony has a Ps5 patent that a couple of people saw that suggests that official faceplates or faceplate replacements may be actually showing up sometime in the future. Now, it's like most patents, they sent out a patent for cover for electronic device. And the illustrations they gave very much looked like PlayStation 5 faceplates. So it's not entirely certain if they're doing this because they want to create something new, or if they're doing this because they're simply patenting their own faceplates that they're using on the PS5 already, because we already know they've gotten into a couple legal battles, or at least cease and desist orders with a couple companies out there. Now, granted, some of those companies made the mistakes of they made faceplates that were pretty much identical in size, shape, and yes, I know what's going on. I'm ignoring that. That's why I'm talking so long. For those that are listening, Zycia is doing a countdown in chat to try to get the timer back.
Because we said we hate the chat. And I'm going to belabor this point just to make it last even longer. You can't control us.
So,
Yeah.
so
Come at me, bro.
yeah. So one of the companies made faceplates that were nearly identical to the PlayStation 5 faceplates. So yeah, Sony's going to go after that. And the other one, while they made faceplates that were different, for instance, I don't know, flatter ones so that maybe you can just lay your console on the side like a normal damn console without having like a stupid foot that falls off when you breathe on it funny. Or put it upside down. Or put it upside down, which Sony's own people did twice. But no, I digress. So the other company where they came into legal problems is because they used trademarked names when they were talking about their faceplates, which of course gives Sony the ability to go after them.
And they taunted them too. They were like,
oh yeah,
try it. Just try it. Just try to sue us. And they were like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Don't do
super
that.
easy.
Don't say that, man. Don't.
Yeah. I hear though, Kelly, that you have much better news.
Oh, okay. Actually, news that I love very much. Does anybody miss Toys R Us the way I miss Toys R Us? I love Toys R Us.
I love Toys R Us. Always.
Yeah. So they closed down a lot of stores, over the past decade, right? Excuse me, now I have to sneeze. Perfect timing. So they closed down a bunch of stores. The last 2 stores actually closed down in January because of the pandemic.
Me. Mm-hmm. That shocked me that they lasted. I had no clue.
That long. Yeah.
That's like that damn Blockbuster that was Alaska.
Yes.
Until just like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That like, what do you mean there's still a Blockbuster? What the?
Yep.
So yeah, exactly. It was this article.
Yeah.
That I discovered that there were still 2 Toys R Us cards. 2 Toys R Us stores as recently as January.
Yeah. So they're opening a brand new one in the American Dream Mega Mall, which is in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be a 20,000 square foot Toys R Us with 2 levels, 2 stories. Sadly, they're not opening until the middle of this month. They kind of missed the window again, mostly due to the pandemic.
Oof.
I know.
They're still going to have such big lines for Christmas shopping, just because.
For sure.
Because I mean, you got to figure the people that are doing the shopping right now for their kids.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like definitely millennials, definitely whatever the FIM, I think Generation X.
So I'm a Zennial. I am all about some
little bit of Gen Z is going to be old enough with like to A, remember it, and B, probably have someone to shop for, whether kids or nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
They're going to have lines out the door.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I had planned on a trip up to Philly next summer, maybe earlier than that, and I will definitely be going here. New Jersey is very close to Philadelphia, just so we're clear. I know that it's not in New Jersey. New Jersey is not the same as Philadelphia. It's not just toys though. They actually have a slide that takes you from the first story to the second story to the first. Like, oh my god, it's supposed to be for kids, but whatever. I'm gonna write it. I'm small enough.
Oh my god.
They've also got a cafe and an ice cream shop.
Do they have the piano you can stand on? Is this just a remake of Big?
I've got one of those, dude. I got one of those. If you want to come on over, I'll bring it up to your house. We'll, hang out. So
yeah, but they had that one in the movie with Tom Hanks where like you slid on the floor and went across and
you can do that on ours too. Like it's just got more colors on it now. Yeah. So a real quick story just to make this more than 60 seconds, way longer than 60 seconds. When I met my dad, he was dating my mom. He's not my biological father. He's my dad.
You didn't have to say that part when you said
Well,
when I met my dad when he was
No.
dating my mom.
I think that like people like I would have taken a step back and been like, back up, how's this happening? Oh, she thinks she's psychic or whatever. So
Yes, I do.
my dad loved Toys R Us. Would go to Toys R Us. Never had kids until us. Would go to Toys R Us and like buy toys. Like, so going over to his apartment while they were dating was like a lot of fun. He had, monster cars and stuff like that. Remote control cars. It was awesome. But he told me once that he's like, "Oh, me and Jeffrey the giraffe, we are best friends." And I actually thought, as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, oh, he knows Jeffrey the giraffe. I was like, oh, he's real and he knows him. Like, I was
That's amazing.
tickled pink that my dad, future dad, would knew Jeffrey the giraffe. Like,
that's amazing.
Hysterical. Yeah. Oh, sorry, that one makes me laugh and cry. So.
I tell you, I'm super happy to see them make it a comeback and get to the point where they can open now, because they've had digital stores open in conjunction with Macy's.
So they just started that though in August.
Since August,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I just laughed.
So they did that. I'm kind of concerned that they're doing a 2-story, 20,000-foot one to begin with, because the rent on that is horrendous. Now, nostalgia is going to get you the crowds to begin with. Mm-hmm. Sure. And this may even sustain you for the first year. But
so what they're saying is, the fact that there's other, I'm so sorry to step on your toes.
No, so you're explaining. You're just discussion.
Yeah. So they're saying because that there's so many other things to do in the store. One, it's going to be, they're hoping, initially it's like last minute shoppers, they're going to go here. But 2, winter break. There's stuff to do with these malls with these other kids. But also, I said, like, on top of that, the nostalgia. So they're trying, this mega mall is supposed to be like a place to go and like do stuff.
That does help.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned that you will just exacerbate the issue where there is that certain parent out there that believes the store then becomes the babysitter for the child.
Oh God. Yeah. I know those people. Been in the proximity of those people.
This store becomes that like tenfold. Like, little Jimmy, go play in Toys R Us while mommy goes down to the Ruby Tuesdays and has her mommy juice.
Yes. First of all, if you're a pro, you just carry it in, a thermos or something. So not that I would do that at Toys R Us. Please, Toys R Us, do not block me from Toys R Us.
You get yourself in so much theoretical trouble.
I do. It's so funny because I'm such a rule follower too, that it makes my husband so crazy. But yeah, so anyway.
Well, moving on to something that Zeisy is going to be very interested in, and he's going to be interested in the fact that we're going to be able to do this in approximately 60 seconds, which is that the Steam Deck is not going to have console exclusives. From the very beginning, when they first launched this and they brought in the press and everything, and the press had question after question after question, and almost every one of their questions was, it's just a PC. Yes, you can do that just like a PC. And when people said, hey, are you going to have exclusives of this? They said, why would we? It's just a PC. I mean, yes, it's running a Linux-based OS, but it's still a PC. And they said, if we make it exclusive on this, then we're like excluding the PC crew on this, on Steam, our own platform. And that doesn't make any sense.
That totally does make sense. Okay. Talking about a game that we, talked about a while ago, Farming Simulator 22. Apparently it sold more than 1.5 million copies the first week. Farming Simulator. So when we talked about Farming Simulator originally, we mentioned that like even farmers play this game because it's like a way for them to unwind, and they don't have to worry about like insect infestation and different things.
They get to do
But
the fun part, like drive the
yeah,
$5 to $10 million tractor.
yeah. It's like when people love to mow their lawn or vacuum carpet because they get the perfect lines, you know? It's that sort of zen that they get. Uh, but part of the popularity, some things that were added to this version of Farming Simulator was crossplay multiplayer support. So that actually they say this article says GameSpot article says to help bring people together, and like we were mentioning playing Operation Tango,
Mhm.
people you don't get to see. They're like people on the other side of the world could play together. But they also did another change that they had made was like seasonal changes so that you got you're gonna plant these crops at these times, and this is not going to grow real well, in the summer or the winter or whatever. But they apparently also at one point had more active players than Battlefield 2042.
Not just more,
Like by a lot.
double. 93,000 concurrent compared to 46,000. Now that could be time of day. It could be so many factors in there. But what I think is important that the tweet, I think it was SteamDB that tweeted this out. The tweet also included the 24-hour peak, which was 93 compared to 53 for Battlefield 2042, and the all-time peak within the last 6 days. Well, 6 days for Farming Simulator and 9 days for Battlefield. 105,636 for Farming Simulator, which beat out Battlefield by about 250. Like it actually 9 days of time for Battlefield 42, and they still couldn't beat 6 days.
Farming Simulator. I love it.
Ridiculous. It's popular.
That's for sure.
Very popular. Well, speaking about something that's becoming popular, and I can understand why. I tried this out today myself. There's a Kotaku article out there that talks about this fun little site that reads Steam reviews to you.
I have got to do this. I've got to do this.
Now, it is. Now, let me state up first off that it is just as fun as you think it's going to be. For the most part. What did throw me off, though, is I thought at first, I was like, oh, what a nice accessibility thing. That was Absolutely. The first thing I thought. What a great accessibility thing. And I guess, because that would be accessibility for someone's blind, except that when you go to the site, you have to choose whether you're using Steam or another service, and then you have to put in the URL into it for the Steam page for the game that you want to reviews for. So the accessibility thing goes out the window. But after that, it reads the reviews, and I think it just picks them randomly. And I picked reviews for just like a game that I've seen before that I had some interest in, and it read it in the most computer robotic voice with the most unnatural pauses at the completely wrong time in the sentence, which was absolutely amazeballs. It was. Now, the only complaint, aside from, it really would be cool if there was some accessibility features here that they could add into it but my really only complaint is that it would only read it out loud if the window essentially had focus and you had a cursor near there. If you wanted to try to do this as background, because it would be a super interesting background noise, let me tell you.
Yes.
I could not seem to get it to work as as soon as I went to go touch something else, it essentially stopped talking. But yeah, it's a super cool site. It's projects.playables.net/review reader. So I'll try to remember to put that in comments. Just
Now,
another thing.
is this only for Steam reviews or is it for others?
No, it's
Any site. Okay.
iOS App Store or Steam, and that's it. So the
Ah,
App Store one should be pretty amusing too.
that will be amazing as well. Yep.
And it's fun because it not only it reads the review, but it also at the end of it, it says the thumbs up or thumbs down as well.
Okay.
So literally it will read unfinished piece of garbage. They are taking us for morons. This game is an insult to the franchise. Thumbs down. So yeah, it's beauteous. I just wish it would be better as background noise.
Did you guys like Minesweeper as much as I did? Do you love Christmas sweaters as much as I do?
Okay, like seriously, Kelly.
Like ugly Christmas sweaters. Seriously.
I'm being serious here. There's, you know how they talk about the upper 1%, and then they're like, oh, the upper 1% really doesn't matter. It's really the 1% of the upper 1%. Like, that's where you are for loving ugly Christmas sweaters. So even if you meet somebody who loves ugly Christmas sweaters, chances are you love them more than they do.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Well, Microsoft actually had their second annual, it's an annual thing now, ugly Christmas sweater, and it was Minesweeper themed. It's super cute. We will tweet out a link to this Verge article, but it has the classic wavy Windows logo that reflects the Windows 3.1 version. On it also, it's got the score is like 1990 versus 2021, to 1990 being the year that Minesweeper was first released. The mines are disguised as snowflakes. It is
and like Christmas
darn
ornaments,
cute
because
yes.
the remaining board, as it were, of because as Minesweeper, as you open it up, there's the unknown spaces are the remaining board. The remaining board, as it were, is shaped as a Christmas tree.
It's
on the front of the sweater.
Cute.
Super cute. It's also super sold out fucking bots.
Yeah, apparently, a few bots sold out in less than 24 hours. One thing that I did not know about before I read this article is last year's ugly sweater, Microsoft donated a portion of the proceeds to Girls Who Code. This year,
Zycia,
they donated a flat donation of $100,000 to Able Gamers.
$100,000 to Able Gamers.
So Shocktober better be better next year, Zycia. We got some competition, apparently.
Shocktober is going to be better next year, Day Drinker and Runner.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna get more scared than her though. I'm gonna find something fucking freaky. It's on, girl. It's on.
Yeah, but we're gonna find it for you.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
You can help. Yeah. You can give suggestions. Cat.
She says you go for it. We'll play together.
She'll be alternate.
Awesome. We'll play with Mike.
Final story is there's this fun little video presentation that Microsoft Alumni Network put together called Xbox Pioneers, Creativity and Innovation. And it's this fun little round table between 4 very important people in the past of the Xbox. And they talk about the past, present, and future, essentially of gaming and the Xbox. What makes it super interesting is the host.
And who was the host?
Nintendo of America's prior president and prior chief operating officer, Reggie Fils-Aimé.
I love this.
And it is hilarious. And I don't know if you've seen this man before. The man is a giant.
Yeah.
He's I don't mean he's a large man. I mean, he's a he's a tall man.
Yeah.
And he's almost Shaq proportioned, but not quite as tall as Shaq. Which made it very funny when he did the Game Boy Mini and came out, and it was like this tiny little thing in his palm. But he took the fact that he was hosting this Microsoft thing in the best sort of humor. He really starts off saying, "Hey, I'm, Reggie Fils-Aimé, former president and COO of Nintendo." Says, "I'm sure at this point you're wondering, what is the former president and chief operating officer of Nintendo America doing at Microsoft Xbox event? I don't know why I'm here either."
I love that.
And this is quotes from both the actual event, or the video really, and from the Kotaku article. I recommend going out and checking out this video. Again, it's got Bonnie Ross, who is the former corporate vice president of interactive entertainment, and she's also the head of 383 Studios, which does all things Halo. Peter Moore, former vice president of Microsoft Game Studios. Ed Fries is also there. And also Robbie Bach, who refers to himself, he goes, "I got rid of all those corporate titles and I just called myself the chief Xbox officer." Which I'm down with that. That dude knows what the hell's up. So this looks like a very interesting thing. I've watched the first couple of minutes and I'm very interested to go back and watch the whole thing. It is on YouTube. Again, Xbox Pioneers, Creativity and Innovation, presented by Microsoft Alumni Network.
Super cool.
And that's it for the news this week, or at least the short news. The not so short news presented by Day Drinker and Phoenix Nova.
Mm-hmm.
I did not look at emails.
Shortish news.
I did not look at emails. That's usually Zycia that does that. I'm sure when he comes back from assignment, he will catch up on the 2 weeks of emails or not emails that we have out there. Other than that,
sorry if you sent us an email.
Other than that, you can find us in a number of places.
Sorry, we would have checked. Let's be clear. We would have checked.
I have access. I just didn't check.
Okay, sorry to throw you under the bus. Never mind. I
like how big your eyes got when I said that. You're like, I was planning like a couple of other things.
Yeah,
Anyway,
just minor issues.
If you want to find us out there, you can find us through various things. You can find us on Spotify with Got Our Attention. Apparently, it's very easy, as I found out recently, that you can do that. Also, you can find us on Twitter at Twitch at /SassGamers, or YouTube at /SassGaming.
Yeah, that's confusing.
Well, I mean, someone already yes, we have a link tree if you go to sassgaming.com. Also, you can find us at, if you want to support us, besides just, please like, subscribe, ring that bell.
Yes.
Sure, that does help.
Mash the button.
Mash the button, because that's what helps get us up in the algorithm so that other people can see us.
Where's the button?
If you want to, your other hand, the other side, Mike's side. Yes. No, Mike's side. Yes. There you go.
Mash that button.
No, Mike's side. You had it right before. Yes, there you go. This is very funny. I'm watching the stream. I could. Yes, she had to move the mic out of the way so she could show
both hands.
Both hands. Subscribe like you've never subscribed before.
Sorry,
we'll ring your bell. Don't you? No. Anyway, so Patreon at Patreon//Sass Gaming. I'm definitely going to have to fix that in the transcription.
I know.
Is where you can directly support us if you wish to, and you will get your name in the credits. And like I said, we if we get some more Patreons, we will be looking at some other benefits to provide to them.
I mean, I'll say a lot of stuff.
which, by the way, is further than what you said before last time this came up in the previous
But I'm
episode.
not saying anything racist.
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, thank you, everyone. And as Zycie would say, be kind, be safe, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, guys.